just keep that part in.
So the game we're going to play is called Catan. It's a really great strategy game. It's a bit leaning more towards the luck side than the strategy, but really fun to play. So I'm just going to give you a basic overview of how the game works and how it plays just to start off. So you'll each get a color and a little board that tells you the cost of things that you can purchase with your resources. So have you guys all got your boards and your buildings? So if you open the building packet, the types of buildings that you deal with, you've got a settlement, you've got a city, and you've got a road. So it's just those three that you have. And then you've got your little card that actually tells you how many of each resource you need in order to obtain those buildings. Then you'll see there's a fourth choice that you can purchase with your resources, which are your development cards. And again, it'll show you what your resources are. So you've got 5 different resources. You've got wheat, you've got wood, you've got stone, you've got sheep, and you've got clay. So your building guideline will tell you exactly what you need for each one. So you need you need a wood and a clay for a road, a wood, a clay, a wheat, and a sheep for a settlement, 2 wheat and 3 stone for a city, and a wheat, a sheep, and a stone for a development card. Right, so when you start off, you pick the starting player. So if we make Carl the starting player, he gets to take one of his settlements, which is a small little building here, and place it at any one of the intersections on the board. So what you're trying to do is, whatever intersection you're at, the 3 resources around will determine the options that you have when the dice roll lands on that. So for instance, if I put my settlement there and roll the dice, I stand a chance of getting forest, which is a picture of the forest, or a stone, which is the mountains, or sheep from the field. So if Cole starts by choosing which one he thinks will be suitable for him, it's probably wise. Roads in the beginning take wood and clay, so you need to build roads and settlements as fast as you can in the beginning. So you want to find a spot that gives you a good chance of getting wood or clay. So just sort of a tip as to how you would think through your planning where you place your settlement. So wood and clay is sort of advisable to get in the beginning. Okay, so Carl's placed, then will be the next player's turn. So Gigi gets to place her settlement. So I'll place mine here, and Gary as the last person to choose.
So just again, which will give you wood and which will give you clay?
So if you got the pictures of forest will give you the wood, the field, green field will give you a sheep, the hay field will give you the hay, the sort of clayish color will give you the clay, and then the mountains will give you the stone. Right, so to start off, you get to place 2 settlements. So to make the selection fair, whoever got to put the last one down gets to now place another one. And then we go back all the way around again until the person who put the first settlement has placed his second one. Now, there is a rule with placing settlements. You cannot place a settlement within one space of another settlement. So there has to be at least 2 gaps before the next settlement gets placed. So it just helps spread the settlements out evenly. So again, I'll try look for a place that kind of has clay and forest. I would have preferred to put it there, but again, I'll be breaking the rule about the 2 space gap. So I'll put it over there.
jump on a turn. Was it Cole's turn?
No, Carl gets where he went back again around. So because Carl got the first choice, which means he could have chosen the best space, he will now go last, limiting his options. Okay, so once that last settlement has been placed, you now get to turn over these markers with the letters on around each one of your buildings. So it doesn't really matter if each person does their own. So we just flip them over as long as there's a building next to it. We turn them around. Let's just make sure they've all been done. So what you'll see now is that these tokens actually have numbers on them. Now this is where the luck element of the game comes in. It's a fun combination of luck and strategy. So there are a lot of decisions to be made that will change sort of the outcome of your game. But you're trying to roll the dice so that you get the number corresponding to your settlement, in which case you get the resource. So just to clarify that, each turn we roll 2 dice and then add the numbers together. So whatever that number is, so say for instance someone rolled that, that'll be, is that not how it works?
7 is Robert.
Yeah. So I'll just change that. So say a 10 was rolled there, you then look for the number 10, and whoever has got a settlement on that hex, they will get that corresponding resource. So if that 10 was rolled, then orange would get a wheat resource card, and there's another 10 here, so blue would get a wood card from the forest. Now, the numbers have little dots at the bottom, which are there to help you predict what has more of a chance of being rolled than others. So the more dots that are on a card, it means that there's a higher probability of that number being rolled with 2 dice. So in terms of luck, it's actually helping you to manage the luck element in this game by choosing positions which with probability will be rolled more often. So the 9 has 4 dots, so there's a higher chance of a 9 being rolled as compared to a 12 being rolled, which only has 1 dot. So that number's gonna come up a lot less. Now again, there's a luck element, so you could just get lucky or unlucky and have a low probability number being rolled more often than higher probabilities, but it does help you to manage that luck element to it. So now that it's been set up, each person gets to choose one of their settlements, and they will then get a resource from each one of the hexagonals around it. So for instance, I will choose this one here, so I will get 1 wood, 1 clay, and 1 wheat from that one, and these will be my starting resources. So all the other players will then do the same.
Can I have a clay, a wood, and a wheat, please?
Wood and a wheat. Carl, which ones would you like?
The clay, wood, and wheat.
Clay, wood, and wheat.
Yeah. Thank you. Wheat, wood, and
sheep. Okay, so once you have your starting resources, then you will go around again from the person that put the first building down, and they get to place 1 road next to any one of their settlements. So Carl, that'll be you. You can take 1 road and you can put it next to any one of your settlements. Now I think this is a good time to explain what the roads actually do. So the roads are required as spaces between buildings. So you have to build 2 roads, and then you can only build another settlement on the end of those 2 roads. So you can't just build settlements whenever you want. You actually have to have 2 roads, and then a settlement may be built on that next corner. So this is designed, it's almost like you're developing your your nation building settlements and building roads and linking them together. Now again, one thing to remember is just the rule about the two space. So before you build a settlement, so if I build that road there, that would have been a complete waste of time because I wouldn't allow building a settlement there because it's only one away from that building. So again, when you build your roads, just keep that in mind because it just stops you actually wasting resources building roads that then cannot end in a settlement. So Carl's already placed his road. So again, he probably wouldn't put a road there because it means he wouldn't be able to build there. So his next road would probably go up. So just again as an example, so Gigi will choose her one. I'll choose my road. And now you're kind of heading towards where you would like to build your next settlement. So
does the center tile count?
the center tile is not a resource, so it doesn't count.
Dead space.
Yeah. I'll do that. So now it's Gary's turn. So the next road you've got to put alongside your other settlement. You can't put it along your existing one.
Did I go twice?
No. Oh, sorry, you do go twice. Yes, that's right. So each one of your settlements has to have a road coming off of it. You'll be able to.
You know what? Get yourself something to eat.
I was going to make some tea first.
Hey, why are you building that?
So we've got an interesting dynamic happening there. Got a little bit of competition, which will be present throughout the game, which again,
Close laptop.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to check it is Catan. Yeah, it's one of Keith's favorites. This is what she always plays when she goes to Pure and then.
right, so the roads are down. So now the first person who put their settlement down, they get to start. So now we roll the dice. So the first thing that gets done each turn is the dice get rolled, which is both the dice. That number gets added together, so we've got a 9. So now we find the 9s. So we've got 1 here. So orange and red both get a clay resource. So red gets a resource, orange gets a clay resource. And there's always 2 of each one on the board. So the next 9 is here, so blue gets a clay resource. So as you can see throughout the game, even when it's not your turn, all the players are getting resources. So it's not just when it's your turn that you get the resources, it's throughout each turn that people get the resources. So now Cole gets to decide, player 1 gets to decide what he would like to do. Now, in terms of options, he can take his resources and buy any of those buildings or the card that is on the building cost list. Or he can just pass.
Okay, so I want to... Can I build a house without, one of these without the road?
No. So the settlements have to be linked by roads.
Okay.
So
2 roads.
yeah, so the rule is that
So
it's got to be 2 roads, and a settlement being built cannot be one away from another person's or your own settlement.
Okay, so I'm going to build a road with the wood and the clay. And
So those will go back into the bank.
then put it there.
Now, just in terms of strategy, this has been a very good strategy choice by Carl, because what he has now done is blocked orange players' road that they were trying to build going up. So orange has now wasted this road because you cannot have 2 roads next to each other. Once the road space is taken, then that's taken. That cannot be taken away or changed.
Jump up by the harbour.
So now it'll be Gigi's turn. So you can still, if there's anything else you'd like to do, otherwise you just say end of turn, and then it moves on to the next player's turn.
Done?
In the turn.
So 8.
Good roll.
So just in terms of showing you, so far we've had a 9 and an 8 that's been rolled. So it actually shows you these probability dots are quite accurate, where the cards that have the 4 dots underneath, they've been our first 2 rolls.
So I'll get
So
a stone.
now we get the resources. So what is it? 8. So red gets a stone. And then
Yes.
is there no other 8?
I think this might be it.
Oh, okay. So because no one's got a building here, it hasn't been uncovered, but that's probably the 8 under there.
And then end of turn.
So this game is a little bit slow to start in the beginning, because you're kind of just collecting enough resources. Okay, so I've diced a 6. So you got 6 there. So orange gets a sheep. And see where the other 6 is here. So white gets a wheat. Okay, I will also build a road. So that costs me 1 wood and 1 clay. So I have the choice now of putting this road there or there. Technically you can build it anywhere you want, as long as it's next to one of your settlements or next to another road. So you can't have roads floating around. So the rule with roads is it has to go next to a settlement or another road. So I could have gone down this route, but the odds of these 2 are higher than those 2 there. So it's going to be sort of from a strategy point of view to try get the spaces that have the numbers with the higher odds. So again, this is just a strategy tip now. You're trying to play the odd games to increase your luck of getting the resources that you need. So I can't purchase anything else, so my turn's over and then the next player goes. So we got 8.
Good rolling.
So the 8 is red gets a stone. And where's it? Oh, it was the other 8. Yeah, the other 8 is uncovered. So
Can't do anything.
So that's how the first round goes. If you have any more questions, please send them over to me and I'll make more videos on how the game gets played, as well as bringing out future videos, just a continuation of how the game unfolds and new strategies and tips. Thank you for watching.